Okay. Hello, good afternoon. Okay, welcome to our L&D book club. Today we started a new book. Okay, Start with Why. Okay, at least welcome to the L&D book club, right? The first chapter assume you know. Okay, that's what most of us has been doing. Okay, we assume things. All right. I think very hard of a scenario. Okay, so I come up with one scenario lah. Next slide. Okay, this one is just scenario, please. Okay. I secretly admire a man in Halim Ho Kwek. Okay, he's one of the partners in Halim Ho Kwek. He's good looking, has an athletic body, looks smart, outgoing, and very charismatic. Okay, next slide. You know who I'm describing, right? Okay, Mazato know who? You already have in mind who am I describing? Tapi cakap nama.
I have two in mind.
Agak-agak.
Okay.
Agak-agak kan?
Okay.
Okay. Elise, Jimmy. Okay. So probably you have an image already in mind. Who's the person that I'm describing? Okay. So one more detail, one more information. Okay. The glasses he's wearing is very
okay, glasses. Okay.
Okay, so next slide. Does this information, okay, that I give, okay, is still the same person that you have in mind now? Yes or not? With the little detail that I give, orang yang sama.
No. No, not him.
I add the minor detail, right? Glasses. Okay. The point is that, okay, many of you were convinced that I was describing Leon Gunn. Okay, until I add one minor detail, right? Glasses. Okay, the point is that we make assumptions. Okay, this is just a scenario, Okay, so the point I want to make is that we do make assumptions based on the sometimes incomplete information that we have, right? Because if I describe, okay, he's a partner, he's good, blah 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 blah. You quickly imagine, okay, I was talking about this person. All right, so we do make assumptions about the world around us based on sometimes incomplete or false information. Okay, so in this case, the information that I offered was incomplete, right? Until I add a minor detail. So why is this important? Okay, so this is important because our behavior is affected by the assumptions that we have, that we perceive as true. Okay, so most of the time we make decisions based on what we think we know. Okay, next slide. So last time, when not too long ago, there was this belief, right? Majority of people believe that the world was flat. And this perceived truth, okay, so-called truth, have impacted behavior of people at that time. How does it impact? Because the world was flat, okay? People do not dare to explore, okay? I don't say that there wasn't any exploration, that there were, but minority, okay? Not as massive, it's not massive. So people feared to go far, right? They travel too far because if the world was flat, okay, horizontal like that, so they will fall off, right? Akan ada penghujung, okay, both side. Then you go further, okay, finish the line already, then you will fall off. Okay, that's what people believe lah, because the world was flat. Until the minor detail was revealed, that people discovered that the world is actually round. Okay, and because of this change, okay, belief, this minor detail was revealed, then it has changed the behaviors of people, okay, on a massive scale. You see how this minor detail will be change people's behavior. Okay, so when people discover the world is round, okay, how does it change the behaviors? Next slide. Okay, so upon this discovery, you see societies begin to traverse the planet. Trade routes, okay, they will begin to explore. Okay, trade routes they will establish. Okay, from last time where UK go to Malaya, right? Go to India. Those are the trade routes because they dare to further. Okay, they dare to go further already. Okay, then because of this also, spices were traded. Okay, last time no spices everywhere. New ideas that we get. Okay, this all the result of how this discovery changed people's behavior. Okay, people start to explore. Then these new ideas come out like mathematics. Okay, then they share this knowledge. Okay, with societies, and this sharing, okay, has unleashed all kinds of innovation. Okay, and then science come in, right? Also the advancement of society coming because of this changed behavior. So the correction of a false assumption, just a simple false assumption, can move the human race forward. That's how, okay, you see the relation between a belief, okay, and how it changed, how it impact behaviors, right? Okay, do you understand? Any questions so far? Can I move on?
Okay.
And all right, let's move on. Next slide. Okay, so how do we know we make the right information that help us to make the right decision? Okay, sometimes we don't know whether the information that we have is it right? Does it help us to make the right decision? Okay, for example, why some organizations are successful and others are not successful? Okay, there's a huge difference there. If they use the same data, then the result should be the same, right? So most of the time we will try to gather some data and information, so kind of research lah, okay, information lah, outside, inside, so we can make educated decision. We even do polls and survey, okay, and ask friends for advice, okay, how this, how that. So these are the process, okay. Semua ni adalah proses, okay, then we can to make the right decisions, okay. Next slide. But not all the decisions work out to be the right ones, right? Okay, all firms are doing just now the things that we described just now in the previous slide, right? Okay, they also do data, they also do research, they also do this and that. Okay, why the outcome different? Why have different outcome? Okay, even we have lots of data, we can collect lots of information and data. Okay, but why the result come out different? Sometimes the impact of these wrong decisions is minor, and sometimes it can be catastrophic. Okay, bencana. Okay, right. So we can get it, like for law firm, can even this wrong decision can even affect loss of clients. Clients can, okay, sue back or what for negligence or what wrongdoings. So we make decisions based on the perception of the world that may not be completely accurate. Okay, that's what, yes. Okay, what we usually thought that what we think is what things is, okay, but the actual fact that maybe what we think it is, okay, and that's the difference, okay, what we think it is and what it actually is may not be the same, okay, that it may not be accurate, okay, that's how, okay, we make decisions and based on this kind of perception, and we have to be careful of that. Next slide. So bad decisions, okay, are made on bad, false assumptions. Okay, then how do we ensure that all our decisions will yield the best results? Okay, will get us the best results for reasons that are fully within our control. Okay, so naturally we will think of, oh, we have to get more data, not enough. Data not enough. Information not enough. We have to get more. And that's what exactly we do, right? We read books, we attend conference, okay, attend trainings, or listen to podcasts and ask colleagues. Okay, we have to find out. Next slide. Okay, so that we can figure out what's the best thing. But the problem is we have been in situations in which we have all the data. We get lots of good advice, but still the things can't go quite right. Have you come across this? Okay, have you come across this in your practice or in your personal life, or okay, you thought you have tried all this and that, but things still don't go quite right? Ada?
Sometimes I do.
Sometimes ada. Boleh elaborate, boleh
More on macam decision on personal side lah, personal things macam tu. Sometimes
So,
macam nak decide nak beli something, then kita dah buat survey. Let's say nak beli one thing.
semua ni lah.
Dia buat. Sebab usually my style I will survey. Let's say nak beli one thing, I will survey banyak channel. Then bila dah dapat macam tak dapat yang apa yang kita nak. So
still doesn't go quite right?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is not something new, right?
Yes.
So yeah, this is something that we have come across. So a quick note to all who correctly guessed the person, okay, just now at the beginning of the scenario just now. The details I could give for both could be the same, no? Okay, so satu saja perbezaan. So it could have been either. Okay, so data may not be, the point is that data may not be the correct. We have all the data, it still may not correctly guess it, right? Okay, next slide. So you have to be careful what you think you know. Okay, as I said just now, we mostly make decisions on what we think we know. Okay, but we usually think what we know is what it actually is. That's two different things. Okay, that's two different things. So assumptions, even when based on sound research, can still lead us the wrong way, astray. Okay, so lots of data, lots of information may not be the correct way. Okay, we still give you a wrong assumption. So even when mountains of data with good advice that you get, things still doesn't go as expected. It's probably because why? We miss one vital detail. Just down the scenario that I give, the partner one. So in these cases, we go back to all our sources. Okay, and we seek out the new ones and try out, figure out what to do, and the whole process begins. So the answer is not just with finding more data. No, you have to go back to the sources. Okay, next slide. So more data doesn't always help, especially if flawed assumption. The assumption is already wrong. If you get more data, it doesn't help. Okay, there's no point in getting more data. It will set the whole process in motion in the first place. If the assumption in the first place is wrong, okay, it will set the whole, more data will not help. So there are other facts that must be considered when sometimes we make decision. Sometimes factors that is not within our rational thinking one. It's not analytical one. Okay. Next slide. Okay, so sometimes have you come across like you have no data, okay, you don't want to see so much information and just went out with your gut, right? And things work out just fine. Okay, and sometimes even better. Right? Sometimes we follow our gut feeling. It's better than we have more what data and okay, all kinds of information that we have. Okay, sometimes follow your gut and feelings, and things can work out just fine. Okay, so this example, okay, of a group of American car makers, okay, who went to Japan to see how the Japanese company car maker assembly line assemble the car. So at the end of the line, the doors were put on the hinges, okay, same as America. Okay, but in Japan, it's a little bit different. Okay, in US, next slide. When they assemble the door, there will be a worker who take a rubber mallet. Okay, rubber mallet is a mallet like hammer, but the head is made of rubber, not the metal hammer that we see. Okay, so it will fix it on the door to ensure that it fits perfectly. That's what the US do. But in Japan, they don't do that. They don't take the rubber mallet and knock. Okay, not until it fits. So it doesn't seem to exist. So that's the difference that they make. So the American, they are confused. So they ask the Japanese, okay, how at what point they make sure that the door fits. Okay. So like US, they already make the car. Okay, then only they fix the door by rubber mallet. But the Japanese, that their style is different. We make sure that it fits when we design it. So at the first stage, when they design the car, drawing in the time, they already think of this. Okay, they already make sure that the door will fit. So no need to use the rubber mallet and knock. Okay, so the Japanese didn't examine what the US problem is. Okay, they don't have to how to fix it later. They at the beginning, when they design it, they already think of this problem, okay, and find a solution to this. Okay, so that's according to them, is okay. They accumulate this to figure out the best solution. That's what they do. They engineer it from the beginning. Next slide. Okay, the outcome they want from the beginning, from the design stage. Actually, it's the same from let's say not only house and not only car, like house also. Okay, if there are defect here and there, from the beginning when you design it, that's the crucial. Okay, not when later when you go and fix the defect after the house is completed. Okay, so that's the big difference there, right? Okay, when you want to plan something from the beginning, you find a solution from the beginning, or you want to fix it later. So if they don't achieve what their desired outcome, they will know it's because of the decision when they make at the beginning, at the start of the process. Okay, so they see their line, their line of thinking is very different from US style. Okay, so at the end of the day, both doors from American and US, they fit, they still fit. Okay, when rolled off the assembly line, both the doors of these two cars, they still fit. Okay, next slide. Okay, except that the Japanese do not need to hammer the door, right? So also more importantly is the Japanese door, when you design something from the beginning, they are likely to last longer, maybe structurally more sound, okay, in case an accident happens, okay, if it knocks into another car. Okay, that's why this line of thinking is so different. Okay, the rubber mallets used by the US is a metaphor to see how organizations lead. Okay, it's just an analogy to see these mallets are how the organizations lead. Okay, next slide. Okay, when faced with a result that doesn't go according to plan, see, like company, organizations, like say, for example, collection not enough. Okay, so they will quickly find short-term tactics, right? Okay, these 2 months must collect this figure, this much. Okay, these are short-term tactics. Okay, actually, it should be planned from the beginning when we first plan the budget, right? Until the desired outcome is achieved. So these are the two ways okay, of these solutions. Okay, either this company, they design from the beginning, okay, they plan from the beginning before they start, or they are more to reactive. Reactive, that means when problems arise, then they quickly think of effective short-term tactics. But these are short-term things. Okay, how is this efficient? How the short-term tactics will be efficient is a question mark. Okay, it may be different from each company, right? So the point is that every instruction we give, every course of action we set, every result that we desire, it starts with the same thing. It starts from the decision. Next slide. So there are those who decide to manipulate the door to fit to achieve the desired result. This one way, okay? Or there are the others who will start from the very beginning. Okay? Either you take the proactive or you take the reactive approach. Okay? Maybe both will still solve the problem, but which one is more efficient? Okay? Now, both courses of action may yield similar short-term results, okay? But it is what we can't see that makes the long-term more predictable, right? Okay, you see the one who designed from the beginning will sustain longer. They will have long-term success than the more proactive one, okay? Rather than the reactive one. That means the problem then only they do things. Okay, so maybe they still solve the problem, okay, but it's the planning, it's the ways of their style, okay, that makes the long term. Okay, which one that can more sustainable? Okay, so the one that who understood why the doors need to be fit by design and not by default. Okay, design, that means you want long-term success, you have to understand why the doors need to fit by design, not how to fix the door by design, but how to fix the door when problem comes. So that's the whole gist that I want to talk about. Okay, you start with why. That's why the topic says start with why. Okay, the one that who understand why you need to do that and why you need to do this, you will ensure more long-term success rather than, okay, when problems arise, then we need to take the action. Okay, so that's the difference lah. Okay, that's why they explain it. Okay, why do you need to start with why? Okay, you need to understand why. Maybe the US one, you don't really bother and ask why, right? If they understand why it should be, then they would have fix it during the design process and not when the car is ready. Okay, and don't have to use the hammer. Right? I think there's no more. Okay, that's it. So any comments? Any feedback? Okay, let's just discuss this one since we are on this topic of assumption. Any one of you would like to share that during you are still young that time, okay, or you're still studying that time, or during your childhood, you have this someone drum you into this assumption that which have affected your behavior. I'm sure there is. Anyone want to share? Elise, do you have? Hello? Jimmy, do you have?
I'm busy now.
Can't hear you, Jimmy.
I'm busy.
Sorry?
Busy. I'm not busy now.
Ah.
I'm busy with other things.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. Anyone here want to share that you have kind of how the assumptions that you have, okay, when maybe during your childhood, during your studying, has affected your behavior? Maya, do you have?
Can't think of any at the moment.
okay, let me just share one. I think during my study, teenagers that time, it was this very, very, okay, last time when we are studying, when we were used to, girls at that time, right? We used to be advised, don't let someone touch your stomach, right? So when accidentally, or like during the bus, what, because they said you will get pregnant, okay? So that's kind of assumption. So I grew up during study years, okay, with that kind of assumption. So whenever like you're in a bus, what, we have to really protect the stomach from being touched. So that's kind of assumption lah, right? Until we grown up, okay, then we know, okay, that assumption may not be true. So how it does affect the behavior, right? So when you are in crowded places, then you start to really protect the area. So that's one kind of assumption that we do have, right? And anyone want to share that they have this kind of assumption that they have, how it affects their behavior, your behavior? Wow. Nicole, Kiki, want to share? Don't have. All right. Okay.
Miss Pei, maybe I want to share something.
Yes.
Okay, like Malay, Old Folk Malay they always like macam kan kalau usually kita kalau tengah mandi kita menyanyi dalam bilik air kan, during shower. So dulu masa I think masa tu about 5 years macam tu. So my mom selalu cakap, okay, nanti nyanyi dalam bilik air nanti kahwin dengan orang tua. Ya, macam orang-orang tua selalu macam Malay lah, selalu cakap macam tu. So sampai I besar, I macam takut nak nyanyi dalam bilik air. Actually okay, ada nothing wrong pun. Tapi my mindset tu dah macam dah kena inject macam tu. So actually I think relate lah.
How is so what we assumption really affect our behavior now?
Yes, sampai until now I dah nak tu still I takut nyanyi dalam bilik air. Even though I tahu benda tu macam actually tak betul pun. Tapi still macam I tak nyanyi dalam bilik air during shower.
Sampai sekarang pun tak nyanyi.
Yes. Dia macam affect my mindset lah.
That's why. So how it affects the mindset, okay, and how you have to correct that assumption. Okay, I started asking you why you cannot do, why you cannot nyanyi. Kan?
Yes.
And, let's say break down this assumption, then you see the truth, then you can move on. Right? So that's how. Okay, so I hope you understand. Okay, why this start lah. Okay, why start with why? Okay, why is important. Okay, we will continue for other chapters in the book, right? Okay, do continue to support us, right? For those who are attending today. Okay, so I thank you for attendance, right? We also will come up with Maya will give the takeaway, right? The thing of takeaway, and then I'll give you. Then we can share with the groups. All right. Thank you for attending. Okay. Right. See you again. Right.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Boyi, for sharing.